Yo, what's going on, guys? Matthias here. Real quick, right before this video starts, I'd like to ask you to like and subscribe and join the Discord, link in the description. Anyways, let's get right into this. So today we're testing out all 8 of the new weapons. I'm gonna stop running. I'm gonna give you guys a detailed breakdown of each of the new weapons and what attachments I would use on them. Starting off with probably the best weapon to come out of this update, the RPK LMG. Now this thing is an absolute beam. You can see here it deals 25 base damage, 32 max damage. Its fire rate is 600. As you can see here, I'm just going to shoot it. I'm not even going to pull down. It barely moves at all. You might think, yeah, that moves a lot, but when you're compensating for recoil, it barely moves. Now, if you do have an issue with recoil, you can throw a Spetsnaz suppressor on there, and that'll help out a little bit. It is pretty easy to control though. And here's a look at the damage. 32 to the head, 14 to the arm, 25 to the torso. So it's really good damage, especially considering the maximum damage range is 330 studs. Just playing today, I've fried a lot of kids with it. My best loadout for the RPK would be a reflex sight, a short foregrip. Me personally, I'm going to do a special forces suppressor or military suppressor. But you can do Soviet if you need to compensate for the recoil a little more. Anyway, so I think this gun's one of the best guns in the game, and I definitely recommend using it. The next gun we're looking at is the Scorpion VZ65 machine pistol. This deals 19 base damage and 24 damage to the head. It has a fire rate of 850, 9 to the arms. That limb damage isn't the best. Its hip fire accuracy is pretty good too. And it's got a really fast fire rate. This is a really good secondary if you can't find a MAC-10, and it may even be better than the MAC-10. But my best loadout for the Scorpion would be a reflex sight, Admiral's green laser, and a special forces suppressor. It is important to note that basically all the sights on the guns are interchangeable. It's really just up to your preferences. Our next gun is the Model 44 carbine. It deals 33 base damage, 45 damage to the head. Got a maximum damage range of 290 and a minimum damage range of 510. Got a fire rate of 410, 2050 velocity. 15 to the arm. This gun's not the best gun. I'd compare it to sort of a Winchester or something, but it can be used good if you use it in the right situation. The loadout I would go with on the Model 44 carbine is CQR sight, Admiral's laser, and a special forces suppressor. This definitely isn't the type of gun I'd want to use against people, but I wouldn't mind using it. Next up is the P220 pistol. P220 pistol does 25 body damage and 38 headshot damage, and 12 to the limb. This is a pretty good pistol, but it's got low magazine size, and it's definitely not the best secondary that you can use. The loadout I would go for in the P220 pistol is an Admiral's laser, special forces suppressor. Next up is the MAT 49 SMG. It does 21 body damage and 26 headshot. Got a fire rate of 600 and a velocity of 1,105, and it has a velocity of 1,550. 11 to the limb. I'm a very big fan of this gun because it's got such low recoil. And the hip fire accuracy on it's pretty good. Up next, attachments wise for the MAT 49, I'd go reflex and special forces suppressor. Up next is the G17 pistol. This pistol does 21 damage to the body and 32 to the head. 10 damage to the limbs also. The G17 is a good option if you can't find anything else, because it can have a good fire rate and it's pretty accurate. And for the G17, I'd do Admiral's green laser and the special forces suppressor. Next up is the PP19 Bison. The Bison does 19 damage to the body and 24 to the head. Got a fire rate of 650 and a velocity of 1280, and it does 9 damage to the limb. The Bison has an extremely large magazine, but the recoil is a little choppy on it. It definitely can be used well to mow down Zergs. Attachments wise on the Bison, I'd go reflex and special forces suppressor. And last but not least, the M2 carbine. The M2 carbine's a pretty sick gun. It's just a fully automatic version of the M1 carbine. It does 23 to the body and 32 to the head, and 11 to the limbs. It's got a really fast fire rate and very easy recoil. It sort of reminds me of the AC556. Attachments wise on, I would use the reflex sight, short foregrip, special forces suppressor. Anyways, that's all for this video. Just a quick in-depth look at all the new guns and how I would recommend using them. If you can't find an Admiral's laser, a normal laser works pretty well. Same thing with a straight foregrip for the short foregrip. Anyways, it's been your boy Matthias, and I'm out. Peace.